We are now joined by Tim Palmieri of Kung Fu. Kung Fu will be performing Hello. Kung Fu will be performing December 15th at Brighton Music Hall. They will be joined by local band Otis Grove. Tim, thanks so much for speaking with me today.
Thanks for speaking with me. I do appreciate it.
So you're on the road right now. Where are you headed at this moment?
Nothing too, well, I'm going to see my daughter and help around the house a little bit today.
I see.
But
okay.
The road, we just finished an 18-day tour. A couple dates in Colorado, New Mexico, and then the entire West from San Diego up to Seattle.
Tell me about that experience.
Oh, that was great. All the turnouts were awesome, and we, 5 dates in, hooked up with the new Master Sounds, and we paired up for all the West Coast shows. And we love those guys. We love their sound, and they're great people. And, we're like 2 veteran funk bands out there touring, so it's nice and easy. Now we're just doing weekend stints here and there, like Brighton Music Hall. And we have our upcoming holiday Toys for Tots show at Toad's Place, Saturday, December 16th. And that's going to be us pairing up with Pink Talking Fish. And we'll be doing the music of David Bowie and Prince. So December, although not a ton of gigs, is pretty action-packed for us, and we're excited.
Yeah, you've been doing the Toys for Tots show for a long time.
Mm-hmm. I think this is the 7th year. I think the only year we didn't do it was our very first, and we've turned 8 this year. So, it'd be 7 years now.
Whose idea was it to start the Toys for Tots benefit?
I think it was one of our previous managers, coupled with everyone wanting to do something and giving back. And it just so happened, with all our touring, we weren't playing New Haven as much as we hoped. So we're like, we should blow it out, come the holidays. All of our friends are back from different places, visiting their families. That's, and it just sort of all came together with a good brainstorm session. So, Josh Krupp, our old manager, was definitely a helpful force in getting it going.
How do you pick a set list when you're playing such a big catalog of somebody like David Bowie and Prince?
There's so many deep cuts that I would love to play that might go over the audience's head, although I don't like to underestimate the musical taste of my audience. Regardless, what's going to work for a funk show because of Kung Fu sound, so you want to pick tunes that are in line with what we're already giving them. So, you come up with a bunch of tunes, and then you just have to whittle away, thinking about time and all that. And it's unfortunate because I would play a lot, but Bowie's catalog is also massive, too. He was such an artist, always experimenting. I don't even know half of it, honestly. But the stuff that we all do know, we're in love with. You know what I mean?
There's so many different eras of his career to choose from.
Absolutely, like the late 70s Brian Eno period. I like there's some fun instrumental tracks and whatnot. But, is that going to work on stage? Because it's a little more atmospheric.
Right.
You got to give the people what they want sometimes. So, fame it is.
Yeah. Kung Fu also has a Fish after party planned for New Year's Eve in New York City.
Oh, yeah. Let me see. What? I'm sorry. I know you're like, and? Yeah, wow. It's like almost now that I'm thinking about it, it's like Brighton, Toads, New York City, like 1 gig at a time right now. But, whoa. That's going to be amazing. We're playing at American Beauty. It's, 2 blocks from MSG. So it's going to be a wild night. I'm not sure of the start time, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be waiting until they're done. So it's going to be a late one.
Yeah. That's going to be fun.
Oh, I can't wait, yeah. New York City, New Year's Eve. It can mildly give us some agita, some anxiety just because New York City, New Year's Eve, it could be crazy. But it's also going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it, so.
Looking forward to 2018, Kung Fu is also going to be performing with Mo in their return after Rob Derhack was just announced cancer-free last week, I think. Can you tell me a little bit about how that opportunity came about and how excited you are to perform with them?
Yeah, I'm very excited. I mean, they've been talking about it for a while, but things have been on hold with Rob's health. So I'm very happy to hear and happy for him and his family and his friends that, he's clear of all that stuff. And yeah, we are sharing the stage at Capitol, which I'm always happy to be playing the Capitol, and always happy to be playing with Mo. We did the Mo Down this past summer, and I got to jam a Frank Zappa song with those guys on stage, which was really cool.
Which one?
We played San Bernardino off One Size Fits All.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I was very happy about that. And yeah, can't wait. 2018. I'm actually, 2017 had its ups and its downs, but a little more downs than the ups. So I am looking forward to a new year, a new start, new everything.
Yeah. Speaking of Frank Zappa, we can talk a little bit about your Z3 Frank Zappa tribute project. Over the summer, you guys did Absolutely Free in its entirety.
Not in its entirety. We just played highlights.
Okay.
We played some highlights because that album could be pretty out there on some tracks where it's a little more like comedic skit, routine-ish, mixed in with some avant-garde. So, we wanted to do what we did, which Z3 has based its Zappa interpretation on the funk in like a boogaloo style. So we adapted what we could of that record to fit our sound. So I can't remember how many we played. I want to say 8 songs. It was almost like every other track we ended up doing. It worked out well. I think it was a Monday or a Tuesday. So we rocked as hard as we could for a Monday or Tuesday, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Have you ever heard from the Zappa Family Trust about the permission for using the songs on stage?
We have not, and ultimately I could tell you the Z3 is more on Dweezil's side.
Okay.
And Zappa Family Trust, Ahmet's side. And it's very unfortunate what's going on between them. I don't think Frank would be very happy, and we're just seeing like probably years of family frustration now being let out of the box kind of thing. But it's so unfortunate, and because it's not like there's not many people keeping the music alive. So
right.
You don't want to prevent that from happening because there's still new fans to be made, because this music is amazing and powerful and important for American composers. And so the squabbling just, it distracts and, detracts potential fans, I believe. But honestly, if they wanted to come at us and give us whatever, we're all for it. We could use the press, and, and is what it is. But yeah, they should shake hands, give each other a sibling hug, and make up and unify their their forces towards spreading their father's music, which, Dweezil is doing, which would potentially sell records, which then the Zappa Family Trust makes the money on. So,
especially with the hologram business a few months ago.
That one, I almost didn't even have anything to say towards that, because on one hand, I know people don't like the hologram vibe and all that, but the fact that some of Frank's best musicians are getting together to do that is sort of exciting for us fans.
Yeah.
Some of us, Vinny Colaiuta playing Zappa music, yes please. Anytime, all for it. But I understand on some level it could be a little cheesy. Yeah, what if the hologram glitches? I don't know. I really don't know how that works. So.
Especially, I think they got Adrian Belew on board, Steve Vai too.
Yeah, that's exciting for things. So I would appreciate it just for what it is, a novelty. But in the name of Frank, there's already enough to hate on and be upset about. Like why go even more with it? But I think it's bullshit not to have Dweezil even be a part of it. Still, that's the main thing. It's like yeah, get alumni, get Frank hologram, but what, Dweezil can't have a guitar duel with his hologram father?
Yeah. Kung Fu released the track Bottleneck this week as part of the Ninja Cuts track series. You're playing slide in that track. We don't often see you play slide on stage. Is that something you've developed more recently over the years, or?
Well, with the passing of Greg Allman, I was asked to do a Allman Brothers tribute, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to get these slide parts down. And slide has been something that I fooled around with, but never took seriously because it's a discipline. It's a certain language, and then on top of it, it's muscle memory. Now it's a whole different technique of playing the guitar, thinking about melodic ideas. So I started taking it seriously and was liking it. It was a lot of fun. I since then have a tough time finding time to even practice guitar, let alone slide guitar, because it's something that you need to do all the time to get better at, like anything,
Yeah.
And I've been playing guitar for 30 plus years, but my slide career is now 6 months old,
Oh,
something
okay.
like that. So, you know what I mean? Like, I have so much to do and get better at. So it really it made me realize what Warren Haynes and Derek Trucks do so well. They are masters of the slide, and Dwayne, of course, and even George Harrison. George Harrison is often overlooked with his slide chops, but man, his intonation, his ideas, like, he was a good slide blues player,
Right.
So I'm not doing it currently on stage, but when I feel confident enough, I will bring it back out. But that track was fun, I was like, it's like, I don't normally sweat in the studio, but I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Sweating a tiny bit on that one, but I was pleased with the results.
What is it about the Stratocaster guitar that you always keep coming back to?
Well, I do like a lot of different guitars for different sounds and feels, but the Strat just has some classic sounds and energy to it. I like the feel of the neck. It's a solid body, so it's never going to get too out of control on the feedback. If anything, it's more tough to get feedback, and that forces you to, play a different way and also set your pedals up differently. So you're not going to it's not easy street to get feedback. You have to, cultivate that sound. And I just feel it's so versatile, where it could be jazzy, it could be bluesy, it could be bitey, like you could shred with a single coil still and be gnarly. It could plank, it could soothe. It does a little of everything. Like, it's just the sound of wood and string and magnet and skin, bone, and blood.
Yeah.
So that's what brings me back to the Strat, I guess. But I used to play the Gibson SG for a long, long time, and I loved that guitar. I ended up breaking the neck 3 times, and after the last time I got it repaired, I said, yeah, I'm going to retire you, sorry. And, certain guitars are just a little more roadworthy than others, and this Strat, I'm not going to lie, I beat the piss out of. So it's taking a licking, and it's still ticking, and, continue onward.
That's definitely the reputation of the Fender guitars. Like you said, you can just beat them up, and they just keep going.
Absolutely. I mean, I've had it, I don't like these moments, but, like, the strap just, like, falls off, and it took a digger straight into my pedals, and, like, should have not worked at all. It was one of the worst falls I've ever seen it take. Huge gouge in the body, bent the whammy bar. I was like, oh my God. But it's still working, so.
There you go. You've played hundreds of venues around the U.S. Is there one venue that sticks out in your mind as being your favorite to perform in?
There's a few, because a favorite venue has a lot of criteria. It could be the stage, and it could be the staff. It could be the green room area. It could be the load-in. It could be like how you look at the crowd and the setup of that. So there's a bunch of different factors, and to name a few, I do like the Sinclair in Boston a lot. Like, it's awesome on all those fronts I just mentioned. And let me see, just recently the Fillmore. We got to play the Fillmore in San Francisco. That was a lot of fun.
Cool.
Yep. And then let me see, the Belly Up in Aspen. I remember that sound being awesome, and just really having a really good show there. And then we played a few others that were just really fun, but I'm not it's tough, because there's a lot of rooms when you get to a certain level that just start really kicking ass,
Yeah.
House of Blues New Orleans was really awesome. We loved that place. Georgia Theater. So yeah, there's a bunch, and then there's charms to like smaller venues too, where it just makes sense and it's always a good time and it's comfortable for the audience as well as the band. So they don't just have to be big venues that could be a favorite. Is the point.
What advice would you have for aspiring guitar players?
Practice. Just practice. Don't give up on your own sound. I think it's important for players to always learn different styles of music, different, catalogs of other artists. I don't subscribe to the whole, if I learn somebody else's song, I'm going to sound like them and then I won't be like me. I don't agree with that at all, because music's a language. So I think it's good to try to speak different, let's say dialects, or, it's good to read books so that you could speak better English. So why wouldn't it be good to listen and learn other people's music so that you could speak a better music language? So I think it's important to expose yourself to different styles, learn licks, analyze it, not just like you want to rely on your ear. I hear something, my brain translates it to the fingers. That's a good thing to do, but break it down, get into the mechanics and the intellect of scales, intervals, chord structures, chord progressions, all that kind of stuff. And that's just on your own self-development. Then you achieve your sound. Now my advice is don't give up. Just keep playing. Do it. Make sure you're happy while you're doing it, because you're not going to make other people happy if you're not happy. So try to find your own happiness in whatever sound or genre you're performing. But yeah, it's going to take tenacity. You can't give up.
Have you sat down and played other guitarist solos, like such as Zappa or Jeff Beck, maybe, when you're learning?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a ton. I mean, granted, there's different levels of difficulty, but I think it's healthy to learn somebody else's solo and take some of their nuances and how they build energy and grow and melodic ideas, all that. And it doesn't have to be, like I said, it could be a tough solo, Eddie Van Halen, or it could be George Harrison, Eric Clapton. When you really learn something, it doesn't go away. So like recently I was doing giving some guitar lessons, and I'm like, hey, do you know Sunshine of Your Love by Cream? And they're like, I never learned that one. And to me, that's like rock and roll 101. Like, you should know how to play this solo right now. And so, I played along with it, and I nailed most of it because it's been there for, I put my time in and it's still there. It's like that solo is very important. And I gave myself like an 85% score in Guitar Hero terms.
Okay.
I have a lot of fun talking that way. Like, how did I do? Well, I guess you got 88% accuracy in Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
That's a fun way to think about you nailing a solo or a song.
All right. Well, we're all looking forward to the show in a few weeks at Brighton Music Hall. Anything else you want to discuss coming up for 2018 for Kung Fu?
Well, we're just going to keep releasing our ninja cuts, one song at a time, and try to pair them up with videos. Looking forward to a robust spring tour. We always do a winter, spring, fun summer, and just keep creating music. I'm excited to start 2018 out with NAMM. We're going to Anaheim, California for the NAMM Equipment Conference. So that's just like a playground for musicians with all the gear that you're surrounded by and all the musicians. It's a lot of fun. So I'm excited. It's going to be a fun year. It's going to be way better than this year.
All right.